Hello everyone, it's Jamie and welcome back to my channel and welcome to another weekly update video. In this video I have a finish to show. I have some updates on some of my other WIPs. I will be talking about my March plans, and I also might be showing, I made a spreadsheet of all my charts and it has all like the numbers. So like it has the total amount of stitches if you add all my full coverage charts that I've started together. It has that number and it's a very large scary number. Anyways, so I'm going to start with my finish, and it's back here. I will grab that. So I ended up finishing Persona 5, which was from Sprite Stitch, and I love it. I was working on this the most over the last week because I really wanted to get this finished because it was so close to being finished, and it's done. This was stitched on 14 count plastic canvas, 2/1 full cross, and I was doing it color by color, which was exciting because Pattern Keeper came out with an update where you can now sort the floss list based on the most or least amount of stitches left. You can also hide the zeros, so it was kind of fun. Like the last day that I was stitching all this, there was only 3 colors that were shown up on the list, and it was just like, oh, there's only 3 colors left, and you can actually filter all the other ones out so you're not stuck scrolling through the list looking to see what colors are left. So that was fun, a fun little update. But yeah, it's done. I'll insert somewhere where it was before I started working on it last week so you can see the amount of progress that was made, but he's done. So he will be going up here for now until I figure out where I want to put him. And then last night I finished working on him yesterday in the morning. Yesterday was Thursday, and so I needed to work on something else at night. And so I was watching the show Blackbird on Apple TV. I finally started watching it. I know it's kind of older. That show was like that. The last couple episodes were a lot, but we're not talking about that. Anyway, so I needed something to stitch on while I was watching Blackbird, and I decided to work on the Very Viking Stitch Along by Quaternion Creations. Here's where I was before I started working on it, and here's where I got to. This doesn't look like a lot of progress, but it was like 800 stitches, and I finished the building, this line here, and the bird, and that doesn't look like a lot, but it was 800 stitches. And so I think I still have like 8,000 stitches left on this, which means it's definitely not going to be finished this month, which kind of sucks, but I'll definitely be able to get it finished this year. I got the app Stitch Pal, which I have an Android phone, so I know it's on Android. I'm pretty sure it's also on Apple, and it's kind of cool because when you put in how many stitches you're doing a day, it will tell you how long it will take to complete the chart with what you've been doing, but then you can also put in a day that you would like to complete it by, and it will tell you how many stitches that you need to do a day to get it completed by that day, which is nice because then I can use that for these charts that I have left that I want to get finished this year. So I'll be definitely using that to see how many stitches I need to do to get these finished in a reasonable time frame. So this is being stitched on 28 count 2/2 full cross, and I'm using Anchor Floss in the color 72. And then the only other chart that I worked on this last week was Crystal Palace, which is by Mandrinks Designs on Etsy. And here's where it was before I started working on it. And here it is now. My goal that I had kind of set for myself for the last week is I really wanted to finish the full crosses, and they are almost finished. So right here, there was full crosses. I still need to do some full crosses in this area here. And then there are some metallic full crosses in here that I need to do, but I don't have that metallic thread. So I either need to substitute the thread with something I already have, or I just need to go to the store and buy it, but I haven't really been wanting to go to the store. It's just not sounding that fun. And then I also did some of the half crosses because I wanted to reach the edges. So this here is the bottom of the chart, and then this here is the top of the chart, so I kind of can see how big it's going to be. Yeah. I am loving working on this though, and the fabric is 16 or 18 count, I don't remember which, and I dyed it myself using neon yellow and a splash of blue red dye. So there was this, and now I'm not sure for the next week for finish February, because there's still a few more days left of February as of filming. I'm going to continue working on these two, and then I think I might put them away in March and then work on some of my full coverages for March, And then in April, I might pull these back out again just to kind of get some more work in on them and try and get them closer to being finished, because I do still want them finished this year. So the next thing that I will be talking about is I'll do March plans. So I don't have full plans for what I'm doing for the month of March, but at the beginning of the year, I had set my goals for myself, and one of the goals was that there were certain charts that I wanted to work on in each month for 2 days, just so that they were being worked on in certain seasons. And I ended up not doing the ones for February because I was doing finished February, so I have moved those to March. So now March has a couple extra charts that I need to work on, and I will be going over that. So one of the charts I need to work on, I will show this real quick, is I need to work on the chart Heaven on Earth, which is a charting creations chart, and I need to work on that for 2 days. I was planning on starting the Stardew Valley spring chart, and I think I'm actually going to cancel that because I don't really want to start things right now. I'm not feeling in like a start mood, and so I think I just want to work on things that I've already started. I need to work on Sun and Stars, which is by Tilton Crafts, for 2 days. And then I need to work on Stardew Winter and get that to 25% because that was something I was going to do in February. And then I just got so focused on finishing things that I ended up not doing it. So those are things that I for sure need to do in March. I want to try and get them done early in March so that then I can spend the rest of March kind of doing whatever I want. I would like to work on as many projects as possible because I really have missed my full coverage charts in the last month. And so we will see what I end up getting done. I also really want to work on them because I haven't talked about it yet, but for May, I think I'm going to do monogamous May, but not monogamous to one chart. I want to do monogamous to one color. So for my yearly goals, I had said that there were a few charts that I'm stitching extreme cross country and I wanted to finish all of the black. So I'm going to be doing monogamous May, but it's for a color. I'm only going to be stitching 310 in the month of May, which is going to probably drive me crazy. But it means I'll be working on Yennefer, which is by Charting Creations. I'll be working on Dear Alice, which is by Artisy. And then I will also be working on my Lord of the Rings chart, which is by Glitch Stitch AU. So I really want to work on all of like the bright, colorful things throughout March and April to prepare myself for all of the 310 in May that will be coming up. So there was my like little bit of plans for March, and now I will be talking about my spreadsheet. Welcome to my Google spreadsheet that I made with all of my active WIPs. So this is only ones that I've started, only ones that I'm actively working on. And it starts with number 1 at Tarot Town 2, and then it goes all the way down to 32, which is Persona 5. You'll notice that Persona 5 is now marked in like this pinky purpley color, and that means that it's a chart that I've finished. I don't plan on deleting my charts that I finished this year until the end of the year because I change until the year is over. So that's why I am leaving those the way that they are. So any chart that I finish, what I'm going to do is move it down towards the bottom. So like if I finish Crystal Palace, it will move down to the 31 spot and be next to Persona 5. And I will change the color on that to the same color that Persona 5 is, so that when I look at the chart, I can know that the purpley pinky colors are finishes. And then I'm also thinking about when I meet my yearly goal on some of these that I will be changing the color of them. I'm not sure what color, but I want to change the color of charts where I've met my yearly goal so that way I can look at this chart when I am stitching and be like, oh, I haven't met a goal on this. I should work on that chart. You know, it will give me an idea of what to work on. And then for all of my charts, I included how many stitches were complete right now. So like with Tarot Town 2, I have completed 3,400 stitches on that. And then the right-hand column has the total stitches in the chart. So for Tarot Town 2, that is 366,000, which is slightly inaccurate for me because I'm not planning on stitching the background for that chart. So the total amount of stitches that I have to stitch left is not 366,000, but I am also not going to go through and try and figure out how much of the chart is background. It's not happening. We'll just work with what we've got. And I did that for all the charts. And then when you go down to the bottom, the columns automatically add up. So my total amount of stitches completed for all of my charts is 317,000. The total amount of stitches in my charts are 3.9 million, which is part of why I'm just like, I don't need to start any more things. And then over here in this column is the amount of stitches that I would have left to do for these charts. So I have finished 317,000, but there are 3.9 million. I would have to do 3.6 million stitches to finish these charts if I were to finish them fully the way that they are without cropping anything. So that's a scary number. And then I also have down here my 2023 start total of stitches completed, which was 289,000. And then I have a 2023 stitch total, and so far this year I have stitched 27,995 stitches. And you'll be able to see down here that it has this little thing where it says equals sum B34 minus B36, and so all of these things auto update the numbers if I change one number. So this right here is B34, this is B36. They automatically subtract once I update numbers. So if I change one of my stitch counts up here on the chart, it's going to auto update all of these numbers because all of these boxes are like the little sum. So like this box here, the stitches complete, is the sum of B1 to B32. So they all auto add anytime I change the numbers. So it's a really easy way for me to keep track without actually having to add things up myself. That is my spreadsheet. I'm looking forward to updating it throughout the year and just seeing how many stitches I managed to get complete this year. And, seeing if I can get closer to, that 3.9 million stitches I would need to finish these charts, which is just, it's an insane number. It's not happening anytime soon, but now I know kind of what I'm working with, which makes me more aware, I think, of charts. So, like, I'm trying to avoid buying bigger charts right now. I haven't been buying any charts actually recently, and when I have been looking, I'm trying to look at smaller things that are actually, able to be finished and not things that have hundreds of thousands of stitches. So now I know. Anyways, so that's the spreadsheet. You might see it throughout the year if I'm like updating numbers at the end of like a month, or maybe like halfway through the year, I might, do an update of like how many stitches I'm at now. So like right now I'm at 27,900. What will I be at in July? Maybe I'll update and see how many I've done by then. I don't know. So, let's go back to the regular video and I will end the regular video and then you guys can, get on with your day. So that was my spreadsheet and those are my plans for March, which I'm excited that February is almost over so I can get back to my full coverage stitching. I can get back to some projects that are tent stitch, which is just, they're so much faster than full crosses, and almost everything that I worked on in February was full crosses. Speaking of full crosses, I'm actually thinking of switching one of my projects, Game of Thrones by Tilton Crafts. I'm thinking of switching that from full crosses to tent stitch because it's faster and I have 3.9 million stitches that I need to do on my chart. So, I need any savings that I can get for stitching time. So we'll see what I end up doing with that. I was thinking about possibly making a video where I try going from the full crosses and switching to the half crosses and seeing if there's a difference. Like if I see a big difference, if you guys can see a difference, because I know it's been talked about before in some groups. I'll see people asking about like, I want to switch from tent to full, I want to switch from full cross to tent, and wanting to know if there will be a noticeable difference. So I'm thinking about doing a stitch with me where I try switching in a small area just to see if there will be a big difference. I'm thinking that I'll be doing it eventually. I'm not sure when I'm going to stitch Game of Thrones. I should fit that in March. There we go. Anyways, thank you for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing. And I will be back next week with an update video of my finished February ending finale and a little bit of March stitching. So I'll see you then. Bye, everyone.